everyone is obsessed with the Oura Ring until you're sleeping in bed next to somebody that has the Whoop. I've had this Oura Ring for about 4 months now, and Gabe has had his Whoop for almost a year now. And I have to admit, the Oura wasn't what I was expecting, because now I get to see Gabe's metrics on his Whoop, and I'm like, I want that, I want this, I want the other thing. But then I remember that I don't want to wear a strap, and that's just when I have to compromise. But I'm going to show you the sleep, workout, and recovery data and features that each one has in case you're hesitant and not sure on which one to pick. This video is going to help. Starting off with sleep, this is what my sleep data looks like, and this is what Gabe's on the Whoop looks like. And if I had to pick a winner only based on the sleep category, I think in this case, Oura would win, and here's why. If we start scrolling down, we can see how it is completely different, yet most of the information is kind of the same on the apps, except for the fact that Oura shows you a lot of your sleep data specifically based on percentages. So right here, the most important thing that I like to look at is REM and deep sleep. And on the Whoop, it does show it. However, it's joined together as restorative sleep. And then if you scroll down, it kind of breaks it up into high, sufficient, and low. But here on the Oura, you can actually see what part was REM sleep and what part was deep sleep. And maybe you don't really understand the two differences between the two. Well, let me tell you what Google has to say about it. According to this article, it says that deep wave sleep is probably considered the most essential. REM sleep is quite different from the other stages because the brain appears awake, but the body stays immobile. The point is that you need both of them, and being able to track each one is very important, because most of the times when you sleep, yet you wake up not feeling fully rested, is because one of these two stages are a bit off. Now, another thing that I really like on the Oura that the Whoop doesn't have is that it actually shows me and tracks my movement throughout the night. I think we can all relate to the fact that those nights where we have like sleepless nights, it's mostly because we're tossing and turning and we can't really just stay comfortable and relax in one position. So actually seeing this graph is super cool to me, because you see your movement on the bottom, and then at the top in white, the graph shows when your body was actually awake. That's something that I haven't found here on the Oura. On Gabe's, you can see different times and stats here. For example, like your time in bed, your consistency, and of course, this very cool one, sleep debt, which the Oura doesn't have. But if I had to pick between movement and sleep debt, I would probably go with movement, even though now thinking about it, sleep debt actually sounds really, really cool, because you can actually see like, hey, how much time am I lacking that I need to make up for? Another big one that I like to look at as soon as I wake up is my resting heart rate, which shows up on my actual sleep one. On the Whoop, you'd have to go over to recovery, and then you can see your metrics. But this one, for example, is super important to me, because that's one of the key factors that indicates how I've been in terms of stress lately. I know that if I'm having a very hectic week, or if I haven't been meditating the past days, my resting heart rate will definitely go up. Now, if you've been an Oura follower for a while, the main hype is around these two scores that you get every morning that everyone seems to be posting on social media. The first one is what we just talked about, sleep, and the next one is readiness, which we're about to jump into. Readiness is one of the 5 tabs that the Oura has on the home screen that you can actually go into, and it'll give you a further dive into more analytics and metrics. On the Oura, your overall score is a number, while on the Whoop, it's a percentage. Now, besides saying that main number every morning, the only time I would actually go on this screen to dig deeper is if the app is warning me that I've had a downfall or that they're noticing something different. In that case, then I would open up this readiness tab and look at my body temperature to see if there's been any changes. This is also very linked to your menstrual cycle. That obviously is a very important feature that the Oura has, which the Whoop also has. I'll dive into it in just a sec. But that is a very good indicator. If my body temperature has been changing and it's not the usual monthly cycle, then it could indicate that I'm sick, which has been one of the coolest things that I've seen while traveling. It notifies me even before I can tell that I'm sick, just by indicating that temperature change. So of course, a main factor, if you're like me, for going with the Oura is because you can do that cycle tracking. Now, from my research, you have the same exact features, even like a monthly calendar view on the Whoop. Of course, on Gabe's app, it won't show up, but I have seen it online, and from what I can tell, with that whole monthly view, it's actually even more in depth than what the Oura has. So the Oura obviously has your cycle insights, which actually I'm just noticing that if you click on it and you go to the bottom, there's a calendar view. I hadn't noticed this. I thought the Whoop was the only one that had it. But now that I'm looking, you do have that full calendar view, which for me is just like a good over the scope perspective on, okay, when am I getting my period and all those important things to track. But from what I can see here, you also have that calendar view, and you can see here how the temperature changes throughout the month. Another very important metric that in this case they both have is the heart rate variability. And that's one of the ones that I like to check on the readiness tab, which signals how your body is responding to workout, stress, and anything that's going on in your life. And for me, as somebody who is traveling full time and is in a new city every month, this is like the key indicator to make sure, number one, that I'm not burning out, and number two, that my body's actually enjoying this process. As a rule of thumb, no matter with which app you decide to go with, you want to make sure that you're tracking your HRV to be increasing. You want to have a high HRV and you want to have a low RHR, your resting heart rate. And of course, the coolest thing about this technology is that you're no longer tracking yourself based off of a standard that every other person your age has, but you're actually tracking it based on your own metrics and seeing how you increase or decrease throughout the months. And of course, for Gabe and I, since we're switching in a new Airbnb every month, this whole metric tracking is just like a whole door that opens up, because we have noticed, for example, our sleep scores change or drop if we're in an Airbnb that doesn't have the most comfortable bed, in a place where you can't black out all the windows, or maybe if we're in a hotter city where the AC just isn't working as well at night, we definitely see a drop in our scores. And it's all those little things that you know has effect on your body that, of course, without these devices, you're just not able to track, which now we can do. And it's been a game changer. You might be thinking, yeah, but I'm not sleeping in a different Airbnb each month, which I get it, but you are going out one night or staying up late, having drinks, maybe changing the time that you're eating dinner, and wanting to see how those little things actually affect. And that's why both of these at the end of the day are very cool. Now, could they be cooler and have even more data? Of course. Where I personally wish the Oura had more improvements on is this next tab, the activity tab. This one in specific is where I compare it to Gabe's data and I'm like, I want that. Like, I need that. Why doesn't this one have that? So in general, the Oura tells me my goal progress. So overall, you set your calorie amount. You can either set your goal in calories or in steps. That's the only two options that you have. And I'm really not that big on like step counting, so I had to go with calories. You have your total calorie burn, walking equivalency, and the number of steps that you've taken. Now, overall, you get an activity score each day of how your movement has been. And then that's pretty much it. That's what I mean. Like, I feel like it's lacking so much because I'm somebody that works out every day and I've done numerous different types of workouts as I travel. I'm always trying new things. And the Oura sometimes detects it, but what I have noticed is that like if I'm doing boxing in one city and I've been doing it almost every day for a month, even when I stop and then I'm not working out, it thinks I'm boxing. So I'm like, okay, are you actually like really tracking it, or how is it actually like detecting my workouts? Because that's what I've noticed that the Oura is really, really lacking on. And then when it actually detects it, it's really not super accurate. So you always have to go in to change it. You can select the workout you've been doing. You have to add in the time. For me, the time is never correct. And then you have 3 different choices, whether it was an easy, a moderate, or a heavy workout. Now, on the other hand, the Whoop has probably like the coolest feature in my opinion, and it's this white line on your home screen that recommends how much strain, so how much you should be putting into your workout each day based on your recovery and your sleep. So this is something that is changing each day, right? That white tiny line on the bottom. And it's also tracking your strain, so how much effort you've been putting into your workouts or to your movement each day, and your sleep. You even have a whole strain tab where it's measuring your strain, it's tracking your activities. Of course, it's giving you your heart rate and your calories, but that's just something that the Oura doesn't have. Now, if you actually click on your activity, while on the Oura, it was just easy, moderate, or hard, on the Whoop, you actually have a breakdown of your heart rate zones. For someone that loves working out like me, or someone like Gabe who's training for a race, this is super important information, especially if you've gotten into biohacking, because a lot of the experts and the longevity advice is that you should be working out in zone 2 and then just 1 or 2 days throughout the week actually getting your heart rate up and going to zone 4 or zone 5. But maintaining your workouts in zone 2 is key. And you have it here in the Whoop to track, which on the Oura, it's not there. And it doesn't stop just there. Gabe was just explaining to me this new feature on the Strength Trainer where you even have like how it's been breaking down into cardio and muscular activity, especially for strength training workouts. You build your workout here, which is something that I have to touch on too, because it's probably another of the coolest features that Whoop has. But you build your exercise and it's actually measuring not just your workout, but actual like the muscular effort that you're putting in. Now, what I was saying about building your workout is one of the wildest features that the Whoop has, which I think for any team, any group of friends, like any competition, it's just, there's nothing like it. You can build workouts. You have it, different options here. And you can even share those workouts with multiple people on the Whoop. So let's say that I have a personal trainer and they created a specific workout for me. They can share it and send it to me to my Whoop, in which I would follow, and the Whoop would actually track exactly as I'm doing each movement and each workout. That's wild. You even have a library of workouts to follow, but of course, like I mentioned, you can even create your own and have them saved, and you just follow along as you work out. And let's stay on the Whoop now that we're talking about all these cool things that it has. One thing that the Whoop has incorporated, which the Oura still hasn't, is this very cool AI feature that's called your personal coach, like your Whoop coach. You can actually type in any question, and with AI, based on your data and the other data that they're collecting, you can ask questions on how you can improve your resting heart rate, how you can prioritize recovery. We can even take it a step further and ask, like based off of my records, which of course in this case it's like Gabe's metrics, what he can do to improve, or maybe how he compares with other people in his age range. Now, it's not all butterflies and rainbows, because one downside that they actually both have is that you need to take your device when working out in order for the GPS to track your workout. So it's not like your accessory, either the ring or the strap, are like tracking. You always need to have your phone with you, which is kind of a downside when you think about it. And they're both constantly improving and making new changes and adjustments. On the Oura side, the latest and newest update has been the resilience tab, which shows how your body's kind of bouncing back. It is a cool feature, but honestly, I haven't seen that much reward from it. My resilience has now gone up today from strong to exceptional, but I don't really know. Like, it says it's tracking your nighttime recovery, daytime recovery, stress load, but it doesn't really say much about it or how to improve it or what other things I can be doing. So it's kind of a new feature that's like, cool, but not really, super like, wow, this is amazing. I might have to play around with it a bit more because I haven't really looked into it as much, because this is all it says. One thing that I do like, however, is that it is tracking your daytime stress load, which I have to admit has been a very, very cool feature that I have to highlight on the Oura side. Both the Whoop and the Oura do this, but I do have to admit that this is pretty accurate. Like, whenever I'm feeling myself stressed, I look and it's always like, yep, you're peaking. Or when I feel super relaxed, like I can see it super down low. It's definitely accurate. And one thing that I do like about this is that if it is noticing that you're having a stressful day, it'll actually recommend one of Headspace's meditations that you can automatically jump into. Now, I do have to add, because I'm just somebody that loves to meditate, like if I'm not meditating every day, I can see my heart rate change, which has been absolutely wild. But what I have noticed is that there just aren't that many options of different meditations on the Oura. It's mostly concentrated on like de-stressing, breathing, or sleeping. But as somebody who has seen like how meditating impacts, I would just like the Oura to have a lot more meditations based off of what's going on throughout your day. I've actually created a meditation for creativity, because I just noticed like I needed to have that space to just clear my head and like jump into that creativity zone, And that has made a huge difference for me when I'm going into a creative project. I'd also love to see like a meditation for traveling, a meditation for going to family or friend events, a meditation for going to work, like different things based off of different scenarios, because you can actually track the impact. So why not have an even broader library of meditations you can jump into? Now, besides the workout metrics, this would have to be the next big thing that the Oura is definitely lacking on. Gabe is a natural Whoop ambassador, like not paid. I have no idea what he's doing, but he somehow got all of his friends, like a group of 10 guys, to sign up for Whoop. And under community, they've created a team where they're all in. They're chatting, like this group chat is literally buzzing all day. They're tracking, they're measuring, they're competing, they're staying motivated. Like it's wild to see, but it's actually so fun that I'm like, oh, I wish the Oura kind of had that. So you have the strain. They're competing based off of strain, but it's like their own strain. You have a leaderboard and it changes daily, weekly, monthly, but it's based off of your own progress, like your own workout. It's just such a fun way to come together with friends, family, like workout groups, sports teams, and just all be accountable and have this leaderboard. On the Oura, you do have what's called circles, which I have my friend here, but it just shows me like her readiness score, sleep score, and activity. That's pretty much it. So it's not that exciting, and it's not that same feeling that you get here where you have all these tabs. You have a chat integrated into the app where you're all sending each other stuff, you're staying motivated, you're tracking. Like there's just a lot more excitement going on over here. At the end of the day, they're both very cool. They're both incredible apps with insane technology that allow us to improve and become and stay motivated to stay healthy. But we also have to talk about a main factor, and its cost. The Oura is coming in at a cost of like $350 for this ring, plus a $5.99 monthly membership that you have to continue paying. You cannot pay like an annual plan. It's $5.99 a month forever. So for a full year, that's coming out to about $421 just to have the ring and the app with all of its functions fully working. Now, the Whoop for a full year with the strap, it actually comes with the strap here, which is completely free. Even when they upgrade it, they'll send you their newest version for free. If you want more accessories like Gabe's arm thing that he has here, that's extra. But this, like the Whoop device, it's completely free. So you're basically only paying for the app, which you have different options. You can pay per month, or you can pay in a 1-year span or even a 2-year span, and obviously the price goes down. Just looking at their annual plan, you have a total of $239 compared to Oura's at $421. So it's actually a very big difference if we're talking about price. But, and I totally understand this, because if you're like me and you just don't like straps on your hand, you'll still end up going for the ring no matter the cost, because that's exactly what I did. However, I do think there is a big space in the market for either a new brand or one of these two brands to completely dominate when they integrate all these features that both of them have. Like both of them do have really cool features. And if there were like one brand that had it all, or that had different options on the accessories that you could pick, because not everybody wants a ring or not everybody wants a strap. Like if you had that multiple variety, I think that brand would completely dominate, because there's clearly demand. Like we all want either this one or that one. That's why you're here watching this video. So at the end of the day, like these brands, I think, are going to continue stepping it up. And I think we're going to see even more and more players come into the space. Now, if you're team Oura Ring, go ahead and drop the purple heart emoji down in the comments. And if you're team Whoop, go ahead and drop the blue heart emoji down in the comments. I'll leave both of the links to the devices with their best offer and prices down below in the description, so you can just click on, and I'll see you right back here on this same exact channel next time. Bye bye.